This is the crazy story of Luis Figo's transfer from Barcelona to Real Madrid. Luis Figo at the time was widely considered the best winger in the world. And after 5 successful seasons at Barcelona, he won 2 La Liga titles, 2 Copa del Reyes, and a Europa League. Despite his achievements, Figo felt undervalued by the club. He loved the fans, he loved his teammates, but he sensed the lack of respect from the board. Enter Florentino Perez, a leading candidate for Real Madrid's future presidency. He was competing against then president Lorenzo Sanz, who won 2 Champions Leagues in 3 years with the club. However, he called an early election due to internal and financial issues going on. Perez had a plan to change Real Madrid's trajectory. Portuguese legend Paulo Futre was invited by Florentino Perez to meet in Madrid. He told Futre, "I want to be president of Real Madrid, but I need Luis Figo." Futre questioned Perez, saying how could he afford Luis Figo's release clause of 60 million euros at the time. Perez said, "Don't worry, I will pay it." Futre then calls Figo's agent, Jose Viega, who hung up the phone initially thinking the proposal was ridiculous. Futre pretends to talk with Jose Viega on the phone while Perez is in the room, even though he hung up. And after hanging up the phone call, Futre then tells Perez Viega wants a 10 million euro commission. Perez begins to negotiate and they settle on a 6 million euro commission. Futre begins to spam Viega back again, saying that Perez is legit, he's going to pay a hefty commission, and the saga begins. Figo was offered nearly 4 times the wages he was making at Barcelona, and he still wanted to stay at Barca, so he told his agent Viega to negotiate with future president Joan Gaspar on a new contract. Viega goes to Gaspar and says that if Luis Figo does not get a new contract, he will leave the club. Gaspar responds, "No new contracts will be signed. Nobody is going to afford Luis Figo's crazy, ridiculous release clause of 60 million euros, and that he will stay as a Barcelona player under contract." A lot of pressure was under Florentino Perez because he told the people that he will bring Luis Figo to the Bernabeu, to Real Madrid. His entire saga and his future presidency was on the line. In his press conference 5 days before the elections, he told Madristas, "If I become president of Real Madrid, Luis Figo will be a Real Madrid player. If I am elected and he does not join Madrid, I will pay the membership fees for every member next season." Even during this entire political saga, Figo still wanted to stay at Barcelona, even doing an interview with a Spanish newspaper in a Barcelona jersey. After a close election, Florentino Perez is the new president of Real Madrid, and his first task, sign Luis Figo. However, Figo obviously still wanted to stay, telling his agent, "There is no way I'm going to Madrid." But there is one problem. Perez and Figo's agent Viega has signed the pre-agreement, which included Figo's wages, Viega's commission, but also a 30 million euro penalty if Figo did not join Real Madrid. Figo meets with Perez in Lisbon alongside his agent and Paulo Futre. Perez was explaining to Figo about his plan to bring the best players in the world to Real Madrid, to make the best team in the world. But Figo was still not convinced. And Futre told Figo to call his wife, but his wife was still not on board and wanted Figo to stay in Barcelona. So he told Perez, "No, I will not be joining." Florentino then says to Figo, "I want you to be my star. I want you in Real Madrid, Luis. I don't want the 30 million. I want you. I want to build the best team in the world." That right there changed Luis Figo. All he wanted to do was play at a football club that valued him, that appreciated him. And he noticed that in Barcelona, they didn't recognize him as the best winger in the world, as the best player in the world. They did not treat him that way. But here's Florentino Perez saying that you are the best and I only want the best. And that changed him completely. And the next morning, Figo signs his contract to join the Real Madrid. The days following the transfer, Figo looked bittersweet. He wanted to accept the fact and the decision that he made was the right choice to move to a club that really did appreciate him. But deep down, inside of his heart, he still loved Barcelona. But what also didn't help was that new president Joan Gaspar was publicly shaming Figo, saying that he made the move for money. And Figo responds, "Maybe the people who call me a traitor are the ones that brought me here." Both him and his family were severely attacked by the media and Barcelona fans as a result of the transfer, especially during his first El Clasico as a Real Madrid player, visiting the Camp Nou, where fans were throwing fake money with his face printed on it on the pitch, as well as a pig's head. And the rest was history. Figo won a Ballon d'Or in the year 2000 as a Real Madrid and Barcelona player. He also won a Champions League, 2 La Liga titles, and 2 Spanish Super Cups before leaving in 2005. Barca, on the other hand, did not win anything for 5 years after Figo's departure. and Joan Gaspar had to step down as president in 2003. Figo was the first signing in the Florentino era, but also he was the first ever Galacticos signing. The likes of Zidane, Ronaldo, Beckham joined after Figo, creating one of the best sides we've ever seen in football. Florentino Perez kept his word. He only wanted to bring the best players to Real Madrid, no matter the cost. Since then, Perez is still the president of Real Madrid and has not lost an election since. Luis Figo's transfer not only changed the future of Real Madrid, but also the entire trajectory of football as we know it.